I've got the.
Okay, you got the outline?
I've got our.
You
notes.
ready to go?
Yeah. Let's do this. Oh, there's our intro.
Here we go.
Woo-hoo.
Look at this pilot. I'm just pushing the button. You like that?
Is this all new stuff?
No. Well, it is all the new stuff.
Configured new stuff, right? Okay.
Watch that. Look at this.
Yay. Hi, everybody. Hi, Brian.
Hi. How are you doing, Tanya? Nice
Good.
to
How are
see
you? Nice to see you too.
I know. Here, Tanya.
It's always fun.
Look, there you are.
Ooh, computer officer.
Very nice.
Okay.
Yes, that's
I
you.
dig it. I dig it.
Tanya
What are you?
Kennelly, and I am.
Claim to fame,
Yes,
128.
That's me. Very short telescope. That's what I'm known for.
Okay.
Happy fall to you. It is the autumnal equinox.
It's the autumn equinox day.
Yes.
Yes, autumn equinox is actually
equinox.
today. And so I can't believe I actually scheduled all this autumn stuff for my tea time with Tanya. That I can't believe I actually did it right, and we're doing it on today. That's so
it happens to be like this is the day.
Yes, it happens to be that day. And then yesterday, when you came in, it happened to be that song September.
Yes, Earth, Wind, and Fire, September.
Yep, and it was the 20. What does it say? It says, "Do you remember the 21st night of September?" I know I'm not that great of a singer, so
I'm even worse. So I'm just not gonna. I mouth words, and people like, just don't do that. So,
don't even mouth it.
Yes,
right?
Don't even mouth it.
So there's a lot of TikTok videos about the 21st of December song or September song.
It's a great song.
It is. It is
classic. So
I know.
Been
Gosh.
remixed a lot of times.
So that. So yes. Hi. I hope everybody's ready for podcast 16.
Episode
right?
16.
This is crazy.
Yep.
I can't believe we're on 16. So that means that we've been doing it for 16 months.
We've been doing it for a while. We do a lot of stuff here. Podcast is kind of the latest thing, but and we have an event coming up we're going to talk about very briefly, right?
Okay. Yes.
This is the Solar Imaging Conference. Is that right?
Yeah. We're doing. It's called SOL, SOL, and it's going to be about solar observing learning, lab. Solar observing lab.
Okay.
Is the thing. Kevin Lagore from Skywatcher, which a lot of you guys probably know him. He's very, very active in the astronomy community. And he's putting it on at the Arizona Space Center or Challenger Center. I think there's two different names for it. It's going to be there, and it's going to be about.
I got a little.
Oh, great.
Info.
Okay,
Sorry,
there we go.
It's not fancy, but.
Hey, it's perfect. It's letting people know about it.
So it's October 22nd, right?
Yes.
Coming up next month. Mm-hmm. And
we'll be there.
We are showing, right?
Yep.
You're going to be there with, and we own a Lunt telescope.
Yeah, that's why Kevin really thought of us, because we do have a Lunt telescope. I'm going to have it on a GM8. I think that would be just fine.
Yeah,
it's an 80 millimeter. You're going to still need to try to teach me how to do this thing. But
okay. Yeah. I feel confident. I mean, I think you're going to know more than pretty much everyone there, and probably me too. So
we'll see. Yeah.
I'm not a solar guy. I'm just.
I know.
We'll talk for a second. I've been doing some new stuff, but yeah. Solar,
I want to talk about some solar stuff on our next episode right before, because I think we're going to shoot the next episode right before I go out there, October 22nd. And so we're going to do some. I think we're going to try some live streaming, aren't we?
We are going to try this live streaming again. So if it's October 22nd, so somewhere in there, probably during the day, since it's a solar thing, we're going to try to do a little live streaming. Kevin Lagore is going to be there.
Yes.
And he is kind of a jack of all trades, certainly knows about solar and everything else. He works at Skywatcher.
He knows, yeah. He is a solar guy. Like Software BIS made a solar mount for him. It's like completely, it's just clear anodized.
Oh.
Because if you put it out in the sun, I mean, all the anodization goes away. It turns into a new color.
Anodizing is UV reactive to some extent. Yeah.
So he is very, very active in the solar area. So it's going to be some learning. Yeah. People can go to the space program. It's going to be a great day. I'm really excited.
And Kevin does a lot of community outreach too, and he's built I don't know, how big is this Dobsonian he's custom made? It's like a 24-inch mirror or 30-inch mirror or 50-inch mirror.
Yeah, something crazy. But I'm going to call him after our show today, and I'm going to see if he could do the next episode, maybe even just a call in with us or something. Yeah, that'd be great. I'm going to try to do that, okay, for us and for everybody. Let's talk about a few more tips, Brian. How's that?
Okay.
Alrighty.
Sounds good.
I've got one.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready for it.
Okay, perfect. I was talking with one of our customers. He was purchasing one of our mounts, and he said, let's do it through PayPal. So I sent him a PayPal request. Okay. I've never used PayPal as a consumer, just as a business person.
You've never used PayPal?
I have not.
Do you live under a rock?
I do, I think.
It's a fancy rock in Burbank.
I know, right? But so he told me, he said, no, send it to me as an invoice. And the reason why he wanted me to send it to him as an invoice was because PayPal offers, you might have to be approved or something. They offer customers to have 6 months of a purchase interest-free.
Huh.
Isn't that a great, I think that's a great option to have out there. So because we don't offer loans or whatever. So it's kind of like a 6-month loan, but it's interest free. So you could, so let's say if you don't have your $3,000 to buy a Losmandy Mount today,
right.
Okay, I could send you a PayPal invoice for it. You're paying for it. You're committed to it. We receive the money, but PayPal is giving you 6 months to pay that off interest free.
Wow.
Okay.
Now so you're saying, this requires a little bit of extra work. Like when somebody goes to buy something, they have to request a PayPal invoice from you.
A PayPal invoice, okay. Yes.
Not pay by a PayPal. Like that doesn't. Right. That doesn't.
It's a PayPal invoice. Yeah. So if you tell me you want a PayPal invoice and to take advantage of this interest-free 6 months of paying that off, hey, I figured out how to do that. Thank you, Steve, for teaching me.
Right,
I really appreciate it, Steve.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing to tell people about. You know, it's an expensive hobby.
Now, I don't want to dissuade anybody from this, but we're not financial experts. We don't know exactly the deal.
I don't know the deal, right.
Definitely look into that. But if you are looking for a way to easily finance a mount,
yes.
That sounds like that's actually a good way to go about that. And it's just as simple as requesting a PayPal invoice. Call Tanya or email you and say, I want a PayPal invoice.
Yeah. And that we send that invoice to you on the day that it's shipping. You don't have to pay in advance unless you want to, because you might as well start making payments on it. You know, where our lead times are a little bit shorter right now. Another tip.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're about 4 to 6 weeks. We've changed how we're kind of doing some programming, and we're just becoming a lot more efficient. So
yeah, we kind of had to be. I mean, there's so much. We are so backlogged on everything. Just the demand is crazy high during these sort of still COVID times.
Yeah, it still feels like it. We still have never had this many orders in the queue.
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, I want to mention a few other tips. If I can throw in
yes, please. We need some of your tips too.
One is, well, maybe it's not so much tips. It's sort of an update tips kind of thing. But one, we had a question about where is GeminiTelescope.net, which is our ASCOM driver.
Right, okay.
It's called GeminiTelescope.net. It is the ASCOM driver / Windows sort of utility application for controlling Gemini mounts.
Basically your hand controller on your computer and then some.
Yes, yes, that's absolutely true. And a lot more.
Right,
but
and then some.
It's disappeared from the ASCOMstandards.org website. And it's not us in particular. They're actually the ASCOM website, and I'll sort of bring it up here just to make sure everyone knows what we're talking about.
Okay.
So this is it. They've gotten rid of everybody. They're no longer hosting these drivers for anybody.
Got it.
So if we go under drivers and other downloads, and let's go under telescope / mount, you can see these are all visit site. They're no longer download.
Okay.
So, and this kind of makes sense. I mean, what they wanted to do was they wanted to get out of version control and everything else and just refer people to the websites. So our website is
actually... So it's still a great resource to get, but it just, they're not hosting it anymore. We're hosting...
Right. So you still go there to get the ASCOM standards platform, which you have to install first.
Okay.
And then the various, Gemini ASCOM driver, ZWO ASCOM driver, QHY, astrophysics.
So don't be alarmed going to another site, basically.
Right.
Is that correct? Okay.
So our site is actually, we've hosting it on Gemini-2.com. If you click on the link, it will take you to a very specific page, which is actually here.
Okay. Oops. Okay.
And get to it. So this is the page you'll end up with. This is the latest stable release. There's options for beta testing and so forth. But
nice.
The point here is it's kind of under the covers. If you kind of went and got it normally like you would anyways, you would end up in these places.
Okay.
But it has changed. Don't worry. ASCOM Standards just decided they didn't want to get involved in kind of the versioning issues, and it's probably a long overdue.
Yeah. That's
kind of thing.
Yeah. As long as it's still available, that's the great news. But thanks for letting us know that it's changed sites.
Yes.
Thank you. Great tip.
We have we had a bunch of questions. We talked about this idea of a new Alt Az kind of idea that's going to be now. Alt Az is going to be part of our
modular
system.
Mountain system.
Mountain system.
Yes.
Okay. It's not equatorial because obviously it's.
And I love everybody's interest in it because what that really does is it pushes me to push Scott. So thank you for letting us know because it's really important that we know that it's something that the astronomy industry wants, that you guys want, because if we're gonna sell one or two, why are we putting all this effort into it? But it sounds like a lot of people are very interested in it. Is that what you're getting?
We got a lot of interest from that, and I want to make sure. So I'm going to ask you about it, but we have a preview of kind of the prototype that we're going to show right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. All right.
So
Don't laugh.
Well, it's interesting.
It's
definitely it's built out of cardboard, but Scott does the cardboard like nobody else.
Right.
But can you again just briefly recap kind of what the idea is, and then we'll sort of show this real quick.
Okay. Basically, what it's going to be is your GM8, your GM811, and your G11. You can purchase a kit to make it an Alt Az mount. Okay, basically what it's going to do is it's going to rise up. It's going to raise up. You're going to take it off that base, okay, and you're going to raise up your body of your mount, so that way you're not going to really need counterweights, because that's kind of like the idea, right?
Of an Alt, well, it's an Alt Az, but yes, part of it is you definitely don't.
I don't really understand Alt Az versus German equatorial. You guys know all that stuff more than me, but people want it, so it will be offered as a kit, but we're also going to be selling it as a mount without electronics. But the great news is that if you want to add electronics to your AZ8, or not, I shouldn't say AZ8, your Alt Az mount, okay, whichever one it is, you can add electronics to it and leave it as an Alt Az mount, or you can take the kit off and change it into a German equatorial mount. And your Gemini computer, you can just tell it what mount you have, and it automatically does all this for you.
Okay, so with this new thing, our offering of an Alt Az mount is now going to change, and it's going to be essentially, we have kind of the equivalent of an AZ8, an AZ811, and an AZ11.
Yes.
And it's going to be convertible between an Alt Az mount and a German equatorial mount.
Correct.
And I assume if you have, I'm going to ask this question, but if you have an equatorial mount now and you want to convert it to Alt Az, you would be able to buy a kit and have that work. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
It's kind of cool, huh?
All right.
I love this.
This is a world premiere preview.
Oh my gosh,
the prototype.
He's got a picture. Go,
Here
Brian.
it is.
There it is.
This is on Scott's desk.
This is an 8.
So what are we looking at here? This looks like a sort of a standard base.
Yeah, so basically what he's doing is he took the RA axis and he put this kit on it, which, here, do that, see that
this
L
part
shape?
here?
Yeah,
So that's the part.
That will be the kit, okay? And then you take the main body, which you have your arrow on right now, the grained part. Yeah, that's the whole axis, but that main that part right there.
This part right here.
No, yeah, right there. That's called the main body. You're going to put the main body inside this kit.
Okay.
That is it's a vise kind of thing.
Okay.
And then you're going to plant it on top of your the top of the tripod base that we call it tripod coupling.
Right.
And it goes into an Alt Az mount.
Got it.
Yeah. And then you could do a side-by-side plate, because you know that the saddle plates on the Losmandy mounts can turn 90 degrees.
Right.
You put in one of our side-by-side plates, and now you can have dual heads again.
And you're
just
good to
like
go.
just like the current AZ8 is.
Okay, so that is the preview. Any feedback you guys have or questions, more importantly, let us know in the description below. That would be fantastic. But that's kind of the idea and what it's going to look like. And I'm sure it's going to spawn a lot of questions. And that's great. We would love to answer them for you.
Yes.
Just drop them in the comments below.
Don't know when it's coming yet, but it's coming. It really is. But let us know, because I'm going to post it on the YouTube that you want the Alt Az mount, because Scott sees these comments and he'll get on it if he sees your guys' interest. Please help me. Help me help you.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. So should we go into...
Well, let's do, how about a little tea time?
Okay, let's do tea time with Tanya. I'm excited about it.
Tea time with Tanya.
It's tea time, 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 it's tea.
Your hair's gotten a little darker.
I know. It's gotten a lot darker.
Yeah, but that's how it is, right? So tea time.
Hi. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I always appreciate it. So I wanted to talk about, first what we're going to talk about, and then we're going to get into all the autumn stuff, is I wanted to plug Dolio Winery, okay?
Dolio Winery.
Yes.
DOLIO. Is that right?
Yes. DOLIO.
DOLIO.
DOLIO winery.com is the website.
Okay, I got the website here. We can keep talking about it.
Oh, great. Okay, Don is one of the owners. I think it's him and his wife that own the winery. And he just picked up a mount from us.
A Losmandy astronomical mount. Okay.
Yes. Okay. And he now at his winery, he is starting to do star parties.
Really?
Yes, and he had a great turnout last time. He's going to do it again.
That's fantastic.
I know. And now I had to get an empty bottle of wine because this heat right now.
Oh, right.
I mean, it was like 100 degrees last week. He said it was not a good time to have it sent here.
Right. So that's a tip. If you're getting wine shipped, you don't want to have it shipped during really hot temperatures. So that was kind of his input.
Yeah. So he did send me an empty bottle. Let's see if I can get this over here. Okay. He sent me an empty bottle. Yeah. So this is the one that I'm going to be picking up. I'm going to pick one up for Scott.
Oh, why is that?
Because it's got the film on it.
Oh, yeah.
And you know how we do the film industry. So I thought that'd be kind of fun. But Dawn was telling me a little bit about this wine, and you know, I couldn't print up my notes. I'm sorry, but this does have like a 4.8. Rating. I looked at the Yelp reviews, and he's got some really, really high reviews. So I'm really excited about trying his wine. I'm going to be buying it next month so I can get it in time for Scott's birthday, which is in November. Well, I think mine's November. You're right before us, right? Aren't you like October?
Yeah.
Okay, you're October, then me, then Scott.
Right.
It's like we're all in a little row
we're
within
all
a couple
weeks. Fall babies.
Yeah. So I'll be buying this for Scott. Don't tell him.
So but the thing you mentioned, which I thought was interesting, is that they're doing star parties, you know, obviously to bring in people and give them something to do. But I had an experience. Now we have a customer, Greg Stein, that we talked about, and Greg and I were talking last night. I haven't told you the story yet, but I had mentioned him. He was thinking about getting a new kind of maybe like a mead fork mount kind of thing for observing. He's just, and
for his backyard.
I don't know. Maybe, but just
or to travel with, maybe. But
he had it. He bought a Dobsonian.
Okay.
And he didn't like it. He just doesn't like and it was a big 14-inch, monster. It's taller than you and all that kind of stuff. And but so we were looking at Alt Az mounts, and we were looking at the mead fork mounts, and we were talking about this.
Okay.
And I was just sort of saying it's a little bit different. It's a little easier to set up, a little bit more compact.
Okay.
And then I told him. It's interesting because one of the first experiences I got where I really got into deep space astrophotography is I went to a place in, oh my God, it's called Post Ranch.
Okay.
And it's just south of Santa Cruz. I can't think of the name of it, but and so it's a place you just go to and rent a room. And we were walking along one evening, and there was a guy. And he had a mead 14-inch, and he just was set up there, and you kind of come on, and he's like, "Hey, would you like to look through this?" Oh. So of course, and he must have had some galaxy group or something. I don't know, but I mean, it was astonishing to me that you could see this kind of stuff in there.
Wow.
And then Greg said, "I've done that too. I had that exact same experience at that exact same place. It ended up being about 5 years apart."
No way. That is so cool.
And so it's funny because he was saying, This is the kind of experience I want when observing. I want a nice big compact kind of Alt Az type of thing. Just want to be able to look through it, stare at things, and not have to fiddle with this.
Not imaging, just doing visual.
Yeah, just straight visual kind of stuff. So anyway, I really like the idea that Dolio has kind of included this, and it's a great experience. People love looking through telescopes. I know. It really
it will make you start doing it. That's for sure. I mean, I've done outreach before, and especially remember that over at Paramount Ranch.
Yeah.
They used to have a huge
they burned it down.
It got burned down.
Right.
But they used to have a huge star party. I went over there, and people would look. And we're talking adults too. This is not just kids, but adults would look into the eyepiece and they'd be like, "Is that for real, or is that like a sticker on the end of the?" I mean, because it looks fake. It does.
Right.
It's amazing.
It's astonishing on a clear night. Really, good optics. Absolutely.
It's such an experience. That's for sure. So,
Great.
Yeah.
Great. I love that.
So thanks, Don, for doing that. And if you guys want to,
Yes, thank you.
he's in Washington, the southwestern part of Washington, I'm pretty sure. You'll have to look it up. But it's great wine. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I'll give you an update if the wine's really good. But his ratings are really good. And he has a lot of varietals. And you can go and see the Star Party if you're up in that area at the time. Give you something to do.
Fantastic. That sounds wonderful. Okay.
All right. Now, so that's a little bit. So now we're going to have a little bit of tea time. We're going to talk about autumn, everybody, okay?
Okay,
Because
autumn.
that's what it is.
I see you got some autumn colored.
I know. Okay, so,
things.
you know, my two favorite stores, Brian. Do you know them?
Okay. I was going to say Costco.
Yes, you're good.
Costco.
You're good. You're good.
And I'm going to guess Bevmo.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're a drunk or anything like that. I'm just.
Yeah, you are.
Well, you just talk about Bevmo a lot. That's all. I mean,
No, Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is the other one. Okay, Trader Joe's. So Trader Joe's
All
and
right.
Costco. So this is the time of year that they have the apple cider hand wash. Okay, I should get one of these
here we
too.
go.
I literally picked up 3 of them because they sell out
okay,
like
well,
that.
make sure people can see it.
Okay,
So
here we go.
What is
Sorry,
it?
everybody.
Apple
cider.
Can I smell it?
Yeah. It smells so good. Okay, and if you have a Trader Joe's near you, run and get. It smells like apple cider. Oh my gosh, you are not in the fall spirit.
You know,
Brian.
people. It does smell like
I don't-
apple cider.
It does. It does. It. Okay, forget you. All right, now I'm going to make, you know how I always make an autumn drink. I don't think we've ever done champagne. Oh yeah, we did champagne like a year and a half ago. So we're going to do a champagne drink. It's going to be it's apple cider mimosa.
Oh, okay.
Okay, could you help me open up?
Yeah.
I kind of started that for you.
It's nice and cool.
So,
Okay,
and then,
so I'm hoping I'm not going to kill myself.
yeah, please don't do that. Point it that way, not at me. Just kidding.
I don't want to point it at. I don't want to deal with anything.
Okay. So this is an apple cider.
Have you been shaking this thing up
mimosa.
at all?
No. I would never do that. Where your computer? Here,
Okay.
don't put it over your computer.
Hang on.
Okay. Oh, good job. Ooh, you're an expert. Okay.
I hear the rumor I hear is that when you open champagne, you want it to sigh, like go.
Nice. All right.
But I'm not really that good. So.
So we've got our. Okay. So we've got our. Okay. So let's do a little mimosa here. Apple cider, bringing in the fall season. Okay.
Okay, so I'm sorry. This is an apple cider mimosa.
It's like a fall drink because apple cider is big during this time because mimosas are usually made with like either grapefruit juice or orange juice. Okay.
Yeah,
And-
I know about bottomless mimosas from.
Oh
various-
yeah.
Okay.
Those me and my girlfriends go to quite often.
I
on
see.
The weekends, yeah. Especially when I'm down in San Diego, those girls are, woo. We go to this
Bevmo.
place- Pineapple.
Oh my God. Okay, so this is a what am I looking at here?
This is apple cider, and I got both of these at
So
Costco.
this is
I mean, not
cider
Costco,
mimosa.
Trader Joe's, yes. So let me know what you think. I've never tried it, so I don't know.
Okay, but I've never heard of this, by the way.
Okay.
So
All right,
are we
cheers. Cheers. All right. Ding.
Apple
All right.
cider.
Apple cider. Happy fall.
Happy fall. Okay, here we go.
It's definitely fall.
Yeah, that's actually not bad.
It's not. It definitely is. I mean, you have to. It is fall season, so you know. Okay, that is good. It's definitely.
It definitely. It's. We should have mixed it up a little bit more, but I like it. I mean, it's actually pretty good.
You like it? Okay,
It's
I
pretty
did
good.
shake it pretty good, but maybe I need to do
Well,
it
I
a
think
little
it's
bit better.
I think it might be just the champ. I don't know how it
okay,
works, but
okay,
At any rate, I do like this though. This is
Perfect.
actually a pretty good idea.
Okay. So yes, if you're having your brunches coming up this fall, that's a great idea.
Okay.
And then another thing I got at Costco, not Costco, Trader Joe's.
Apple cider mimosa,
cider
which is just
mimosa.
champagne. And is there a particular apple cider that you like? It
I
looks like
I just got
unfiltered.
I just got the
Oh, a
Trader
spiced
Joe's.
cider. Mm-hmm. You want to hold that up there?
Okay, here we go.
Spiced cider.
Yeah, this I got at Trader Joe's also.
Got it.
And then Trader Joe's also has the fall leaves. If you look at here, pick one out and hold one. You hold a red
Okay,
one.
so let me
You hold a
see
red
this here
one.
for a second. So this is fall. It is corn tortilla chips, but they're in the shapes of
Fall leaves.
fall leaves.
Do I get into this or what? I love getting into this and
You
sharing
do.
it
This
with.
looks like a.
I love sharing it with all of you guys. I really, really
That
do.
looks like a.
If you don't
maple
like
leaf.
my tea time segments, you guys can just skip through them and just skip over to the area.
This is, I don't know, here, I'm going to
Okay, put that back over here. Okay.
All right, so it's got a couple of them, but this looks like a maple leaf, and this looks like, I don't know, aspen leaf maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, and you have some salsa?
Uh-huh, and then I've got some pumpkin salsa, okay?
Very nice.
So let's try this. I've never tried this either. Everything I try is on here.
I'm sorry, what is this, pumpkin salsa? Is it?
That is good. I did not think I was going to like this, to be honest. That is really, really
you
good.
hand it to me first.
Okay.
Actually, it is good.
Can I have a guinea pig?
It's a little bit sweet.
It's called Fall Harvest Salsa. There's actually pumpkin in it. Okay,
so come on, show it to the camera. Fall Harvest
Salsa.
So it's got pumpkin. Does it have squash, things like that in it?
It has, pumpkin, apples, and butternut squash. Yeah.
Oh.
These are really, really good. Hey, I really, really recommend this. This is awesome. Really good.
This is pretty good. I like the apple cider mimosa and the what is this butter again? The salsa?
This is from Trader Joe's.
What's it called again?
It's called Fall Harvest Salsa.
Fall Harvest Salsa, and it's actually very.
It's good.
It's very fall. It's very autumnal.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, and then I don't want to make my tea time, Tanya, with too long, but I do have to say we did get some treats. From
Costco.
I know, from Costco.
Costco, okay, that's a surprise.
Delaney is like, you know, Delaney works here, obviously you do,
yes.
But for all of you viewers, Delaney does work here. So a lot of times she goes to Costco with me because why? Because she wants to get some stuff too. She knows Mom's going to
She knows you're going to go to Bevmo next.
Yeah, she doesn't drink. She'll drink champagne. She'll
okay,
have some
but Delaney is your youngest daughter. She was on, I think, one of our very first podcasts. Yeah, so.
And so she loves chocolate. So she wanted me to pick this up for her because she wants it after the show. She was like, Mom, you can use it for the show. Okay, so there's a bunch of different.
So this is called Harvest Chocolates.
And there's a bunch of different type in there. So if you're at Costco, there's Costco's everywhere. If you're at Costco, pick one of these up also.
And is it, I mean, what is it like flavored or what? Is it just, it's just different colors or?
So it's okay, so the green apple there, that is going to be coffee ganache, okay? There's a piece of corn in there, and that's hazel praline. There's a white corn, and that's crunchy chocolate cream. There's some
Oh, I see. So there's like, they're not somehow like corn flavored chocolate.
No, they're all
like
different.
That.
Like there's a pumpkin on there, and it says hazelnut praline.
Right.
Okay, so it's all back here. That's
okay.
I'm not just
Well, no, I liked it when you were doing it, and I was the camera was cutting to you, and it just all we saw was an out of focus box in front of your face as you were talking.
Oh my God!
So.
You told me to be here tonight.
No, it's good. I just we cut to a different camera. That's okay.
All right, thank you.
But I like that. That's great.
Okay, so so happy fall, everybody. Thank you. That was my tea time with Tanya. Woo!
Very
now
good.
we have our Observatory Talk with Brian.
Observatory Talk. Will this work again?
Are you ready?
I
love this. Oh wait, that's right. It mutes.
What?
Doesn't it mute?
No.
Oh, they can hear us.
Yeah, they can.
Observatory Talk with Brian.
Oh, wow.
Woo!
There you go. Observatory Talk. I got to look at my notes here. As folks know, this is kind of about the observatory, the remote observatory setup that I have with OBSTEC. It's El Sos Observatory down in Chile.
Yes.
And I have we sent down a CDK-20, a planewave CDK-20, an astrophysics mount, a bunch of other stuff. We actually have a piggybacked 80 millimeter wide field refractor with an ASI 6200, so it's a nice wide field type of thing.
Okay.
But it's been, so obviously it's the end of summer here.
Right.
It's the end of winter there.
Right. And you didn't have a lot of observing time. It was...
No, I mean, they talk about, like, I think there's 320 days of available kind of clear nights for imaging.
Right.
And those other, like, 40, 44, 45, 46, like, they all go in a row. Like, it's terrible.
Well, yeah, at least you can prepare for it then.
Yeah, so they actually had snow there for, I think, like a week or something. I mean, it was just crazy. It was just everything was shut down. So it's nice to, we shoot some flats, shoot some calibration frames.
Get a little prepared for stuff. Okay,
yeah,
nice.
Exactly,
okay.
exactly.
Nice.
But I was able to image a few things here, so I'm going to see if I can find some things. We're going to see what we have. Okay, so this one.
Okay.
Can I figure out a way to do this? This is... NGC 45.
Okay.
It's a bit of a dim galaxy.
Doesn't look that dim to me. It's very nice.
Well, because it's taken a ton of time on imaging.
Got it right.
But I really like the fact that it's kind of shoved in here with a couple of large stars. You got some background galaxies.
Oh, look at
some
those!
beautiful
I
ones.
love that. I love that
Yeah.
one on the right there. Now, how many hours is this?
Well, I have to probably look.
Probably like 50, I would think, right?
Well, it's probably something close to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me sort of see.
I just know it takes a long time.
I can't. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Okay.
But yeah, it was something like that.
Sorry.
And in fact, there's been sort of this long-going debate that I've personally been going back and forth on as to whether or not I shoot red, green, blue, and just do a synthetic luminance by combining all those, or if I'm actually going to shoot a luminance channel.
Okay.
And just sort of combine all that with red, green, blue for the color. And in this particular case, I went back to the kind of the tried and true luminance with the red, green, blue and they're not binned or anything, and I think it's probably the right approach. And I really kind of like that.
Yeah.
So we got that. And then I think I have another one that I'm going to show you, which was a wide field. Whoops, that's not it. Well, not super wide field, but this is.
Now, are these done on both the plane waves? You haven't switched anything out. You always
This is the
just leave
plane wave, right? Still the plane wave.
So you can do
So this is IC.
nice.
Well, it's actually NGC 6589.
Okay.
It's got some really nice detail in here in terms of the bright nebula. Now, this particular one, I was fiddling around with a guy named David Biggs that I'll talk about for a moment, and he was showing some new deconvolution algorithms.
Okay.
But this is a beautiful target, and it's got some really nice nebulosity. It's got some dark nebula in here, down here, and then it's also got some really nice, very subtle, bright nebulosity.
Right now,
well.
do people add those star spikes? You add the star spikes into it? When
No,
image?
so some people do.
Okay.
There's a thing called Star Spikes Pro that you can add those in Photoshop. In my case, the plane wave has the secondary that holds the mirrors, and so that's what creates the spikes.
Oh, okay, got it.
And that's also why, by the way, when you see the James Webb telescopes, they have the. Well, it's not that they have well, I guess they do have a secondary, but I think it has to do with the fact that they're hexagonal mirrors, and that causes their star spikes to be six-pointed. I'm pretty sure someone will probably mention this in the comments below, because I don't think they do have a secondary. I think it's just held in place with 4, but I think the reason they have the 6 is because of the hexagonal mirrors.
Okay.
So
That
if
would make
somebody
sense.
confirm that or correct me on that, that'd be great.
Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, they are very. You can see a James Webb telescope image a mile away because of that in particular. Yeah, so.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, awesome.
So I did mention a fellow named, his name is David Biggs. He did a talk at the Astro Imaging channel. I got to find it here.
Okay.
So this is the talk that he did. You can see that down below here. It was on August 21st. David Biggs.
I like that. I like
Deconvolution
that
in the
little logo. It's very nice.
Yeah, so the Astro Imaging channel has been around for a while, and they've been doing this stuff. But he gave a talk about kind of his experience with deconvolution, which is basically sort of, it's not image sharpening, it's essentially trying to counteract the seeing, and as a result of that, it actually creates a sharper image.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you this here real quick. I hope this is going to work. And I'm going to switch here to this. So this is, I think it's IC 5332. Is that? I think it's. But at any rate, this is a crop of this particular galaxy. It's very similar, a very low luminous surface profile of this. But this is the original. It's maybe about 12 hours of luminance data, and then I gave this to David.
Okay.
And he ran it through his algorithms, and he produced, I believe, this version.
Oh.
Which, aside from the stars, getting their spikes removed, I mean, just look at the detail right in here. I mean, it's pretty astonishing what he's done with this.
That's really.
And it's not perfected yet. He's very much in the research phase of things. So his background experience is actually from microscopes. So they have the same issue, right? They're trying to take pictures of very detailed things, and the optics maybe are a little bit not the best or whatever. They're dealing with diffraction, probably diffraction limited things, and his job is to deconvolve these to make them sharper. But he has a passion for astrophotography. Oh. At any rate, it's a really interesting talk on the Astro Imaging channel. We'll put a link in our description down below.
Nice.
But I was so interested that I started sending him some sample data. And if anybody's interested in doing that, talk to me, or I encourage you to reach out to him directly. He'll tell you what he needs. And he's just really trying to figure out how to actually get this done.
Wow.
And it's really, really promising results.
It looks like
I'm excited.
It, yes. Yeah.
I'm excited by that.
That's neat. That's kind of a new thing.
So deconvolution exists as a thing, but he is trying to, it's kind of hard to explain, but he's trying a new way to do it where he's trying to, I guess the term is he's trying to synthetically create the point spread function, and then he kind of tests it by re-blurring the image. I mean, it's a lot of details.
Yeah.
but the thing is, he's trying to figure out how to do it better.
Okay.
And the PSF function, which I know not everybody necessarily knows about, but the normal way that we do PSF function was to sort of use PixInsight or something and create a PSF model. His looks completely different. I mean, it doesn't even make any sense, and yet he's producing these really, really wonderful results.
So
it
works.
Yeah, it works.
That's all that matters.
And that's
right?
kind of the punchline, right? So, I'm really excited about what he's doing. It's not yet available. He's in the research phase, but I think what he's going to end up doing is do a PixInsight plugin for that, and that would be fantastic. So,
well, everybody should follow him then on YouTube. Or is it?
Well, at least just go check out the talk on the Astro Imaging channel. It's definitely worth just at least listening to what he's doing. It's a fascinating approach that he's got. I mean, it's coming from a completely different place. Microscopes, but similar kinds of issues in terms of compensating for whatever aberrations happen in the images.
That's great.
So
great news. Glad you got that.
That's our Observatory Talk for.
Well, thank you, Brian. Yay! Touch base. This whole James Webb.
Yeah.
You mentioned that. It is amazing. Like, it literally gives me chills to think about this entire program that James Webb and these people, I think it was like 3 countries. It was like Europe, Canada, and the US, right? I was reading about it the other day, and it's so amazing what they did is they pushed it up there on a rocket, and this thing like opens up. I know everybody watching this video probably knows so much more than I do,
right?
Because a lot of people are into astronomy. They probably were watching it the day it came out. What was it, like June 21st or something? Like first image or something. But it has been so neat to watch all the new images coming out of there. And I asked you about how long it took for you to get those images. Like it was 50 hours. They're getting images in 12 hours.
I would not be surprised about that at all.
12 hours. And these are images that are billions and billions of light years away, right?
Yeah. Well, they also, so today, I think, or it might be in last night, but they just released Uranus.
Okay.
Take a look at this.
Okay. Oh.
So it's got a ring system.
Chills.
They have a ring system, and these are the moons around Uranus, or I guess the major satellites.
This is just
and
amazing.
Triton, I think, is actually so big it's somewhere else. I gotta find where this is. Yeah, this is it. So this is this one here. Open image, a new tab. So I believe that's Triton, but it's so. This moon is so reflective that it gives off way more light than pretty much everything else. So when you look at this, that was the image we were looking at down here, and then here's Triton up here.
This is just amazing, this telescope. I mean,
astonishing.
It really is. I mean, Hubble, Hubble was like, what they put out however many years ago. I don't really know when that one was launched. And this is the next one after. And it's blowing away Hubble by all means. But thank goodness Hubble was there to start it, right?
Yeah. Do you know, I've seen a picture of the Hubble telescope. It's as big as a school bus. I don't know if you know. It's a monstrous monstrous telescope. I mean, obviously
massive.
James Webb is much larger, but
Well,
yeah,
the James Webb is a little bit different. It's kind of like it's a hexagon thing. It's like a robot.
You know, we talk about the shield being the size of a tennis court and some other things, but Hubble is not like, you know, someone pulled something off a fork mount and decided to put it in a satellite. I mean, this thing is a monstrous telescope.
So great things going on into going out and looking into space and really getting familiar with our universe, because there's so much to be said out there.
Right.
So much to learn.
Absolutely true.
So much to learn.
Absolutely true.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about all that.
So now, speaking of which, I wanted to spend some time talking about Planetary. And we just,
that's
in fact,
our segment
when this
today.
podcast drops, we are going to drop the video about sort of my adventures in Planetary.
Okay.
I'm going to show some examples of that, but just sort of talk about some of the things that I've learned. First, I'm going to start with some examples.
Yeah, well, you've always been into, DSO, which a lot of people are, and you kind of get away from Planetary, and then you're like, wait, maybe I should start doing that again. You switch it up a little bit and be a little fun.
I just never really, so Planetary is very different, right? It is a different kind of, even though there's a telescope, even though there's a mount, even though there's a camera, it's really an entirely different way of looking about things. You want a different kind of requirements for the mount, different kind of requirements for the telescope. You've got a Barlow lens, some other stuff. And it's just a completely different experience. So the thing that I like about Planetary is that in one night, you can go and you can image, one or two or three planets. And if it's really good seeing or excellent seeing, I mean, you can produce the image and be done with it. I mean, that's it, right? That's all it takes.
Right.
And then,
it's more like a snapshot. There's not a lot of processing after. Like
for good stuff, there's a lot of, but there's 3 or 4 hours of processing if you're really kind of getting into it, right?
Okay.
But the thing is, with deep space objects, there's many, there's no such thing as enough integration time.
Right.
Feels like.
Right.
You've got multiple, filters.
Palettes.
You've got all these things.
Right.
You've got, all this calibration stuff. And with Planetary, it's very, very simple. However, doing automated Planetary doesn't really exist. So the problem is you got to be out there at 2 a.m. or at 4 a.m. or whenever whenever the transit is, when it's kind of the highest in the sky, and be imaging that. So it's terrible for my sleep. I got like bags under my eyes. But it's very, very exciting, and it's pretty easy to go from sort of zero to something pretty reasonable. So I really, in earnest, started this probably about 4 months ago. It was actually the reason I started this now is partly because I had a friend's daughter who said she wanted a picture of Mars. And she's like 8, I think. 8, 10.
Okay, your Mars one is my favorite. Just to let you know.
But that's still the practice court, just so you know. But
okay, so she wants a picture of it.
She just sort of mentioned this in passing. And I was like, okay, well, the opposition's coming up. I think it might be December 2nd, somewhere in there, December 6th.
Okay.
I'm like, give me enough time. And then that was just, you know how it is. We just sort of get into it and we want to go better and better and better.
Right.
And Mars is it's a challenging target. It's very bright, but it's also very, very small.
Yes.
So I'm going to show you. So these are just kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay.
I have a Celestron Edge HD11, typically a 2X power mate. I've got the ASI 662
very nice
camera.
I love when you look at Saturn, it's like you can get so many different views of it.
Yeah.
Like how yours are going they're going vertical right now, but you see a lot of them where they're horizontal, sideways. It's so neat.
Yeah, so people will obviously rotate it. This is just kind of whatever the orientation is I had in the sky.
Okay. But it does change, though.
It does, absolutely.
Is that per year or when it's up in the sky, like the night?
It changes over time. So if you have sort of a viewing season, it will change in rotation in terms of, because obviously it's going across the ecliptic plane. It's orbiting. We're orbiting. Our Earth is shifting. So all those things happen with that. But there's a guy named Damian Peach who's kind of like I don't know if he's the guy, but he's certainly one of the guys. Very, very talented. He's got a Patreon. I encourage people to check it out. It's very inexpensive. He's got a lot of great information. I think it's called Damian Peach Astro photography, but I will put a link to his Patreon down below.
Okay.
I'm not associated with him at all. I just happen to be a subscriber, and it's great stuff and very inexpensive. He's got a lot of great ideas in there.
Okay.
But he has an image of Saturn where it kind of shows all these various sort of, kind of, I don't know how to stack, kind of goes stack.
Oh, cool.
So it's pretty
It almost looks like, remember those things back in the day, you'd flip the cards?
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like it's moving.
Yeah. Or you draw like a little stick man kicking somebody.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So yes, we got that. And then I'll show you. So Saturn is pretty easy. Relatively speaking, because there's not a lot of detail, and it's not difficult to not blur it. But this is so here's our friend Jupiter.
You know what I just found out?
What's that?
Don't.
Oh, do you really want to admit this?
Okay, maybe not.
You can.
The black dot. It's a shadow.
Oh, the black dot on Jupiter, if you see one.
Yeah, is a shadow of Neptune, is that correct? Or something? It's
on Jupiter?
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably, well, usually it's the shadow of one of its moons as it's transiting across. And I actually have, well, I don't have a picture of that particular thing, but yes.
I never really knew that.
Yes.
I'm learning about space all the time, still.
Good. I like that. But Jupiter.
Okay. Yes.
So,
this is nice.
Again, this was relatively good seeing, and this is not a particularly sophisticated setup. I mean, it's a nice one. All right, it's an 11-inch Edge HD, as I mentioned. I'm doing lucky imaging. I'll show you one of. Speaking of moons, this is Io.
Okay. Okay.
It just finished a transit, so it was kind of coming across here, and I think that there was. The as you mentioned, the shadow there, but some really, really nice detail.
That's
but it's challenging to get this just right. You are beholden to seeing conditions which kind of trump everything else in terms of the planetary imaging.
Mm-hmm. No, it's very nice image.
The mount, by the way, so I'm shooting this all on a Losmandy G11.
Right. Okay.
Really, kind of the main requirement, or sort of the main thing, is to be really well polar aligned. I mean, exceptionally well polar aligned.
Because it's so close.
Well, it has to do with just sort of keeping it in the frame for as long as you can. Because of course, when you have poor polar alignment, it kind of drifts out of the frame.
Right.
And so, with good polar alignment, I've done things where these are just tiny things on your chip. I mean, the chip is probably 6 millimeters across.
Okay.
And I'll sort of leave it on Jupiter, and I'll come back 4 hours later when it's getting closer to the meridian, and it will still be on the chip. And so that's a pretty remarkable thing.
Hats off to Losmandy Mounts right there.
The mount definitely can handle this. The 11-inch edge has been great. It's easy to polar align it and make it work. So. But beyond that, you don't really need exceptional low periodic error, all these sorts of things that we really want for deep space objects.
Okay.
We're not guiding at all.
Okay.
There's a thing called region of interest guiding in SharpCap, which I'm not going to get into, but there are ways to kind of keep it steady. But these are only, 3-4 minute long, maybe a series of 1 minute if you're doing filters and things like that. So, we have Jupiter. And then I'm going to show you my last one, which you had mentioned about Mars.
This is the one I
mean, again, this is just sort of I don't know if I say it's a great one, but this is Mars.
I love it.
You can see how small it is relative to the other targets. But I'm planning on maybe moving to a 14-inch Dobsonian to try to get a little bit more detail here.
Got it.
And as I mentioned, the Mars opposition is coming up in December this year. Jupiter opposition, by the way, is Monday on the 26th, which means it's the closest it's going to be to Earth. It's going to be the largest in your images and stuff. So if you are thinking about planetary imaging, September 26th for Jupiter.
Speaking of the oppositions, Brian, what if we did another T-shirt contest, image of the month contest, like we did on the last newsletter with the comet?
Yep.
Okay, we got a lot of people sending it in to submissions at losmandy.com, and send us your opposition ones of the one that's coming up.
No, you want to do a planetary contest for planetary imaging on our next contest, I guess.
Why not? Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Let's do it. I love it.
Okay.
That sounds great. So, picture of Saturn.
Okay, that was last month. Okay.
So we had opposition. Well, it was earlier, I think, this month.
Okay.
Was it last? Could have been last month.
This Monday.
Jupiter opposition is this Monday, the 26th.
And then
early Mars
December.
is going to be December. So probably it's going to be too late for this contest. But if you have a great Mars image, we'd love to see it. Please. It is a tricky one. So aperture is king there in addition to seeing.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. So send in your images for the next image of the month contest. You get your free T-shirt and send it to submissions@losmandy.com.
Submissions@losmandy.com. We're going to put a link in there, and I believe we are done with this podcast for this month.
Okay, excelled.
16.
Episode 16. We'll see you at episode 17, you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Happy fall. Fun. You're always so fun to do these with, Brian. That's for sure. Now I can drink rest of my champagne.
You're still recording, by the way.
Oh. Beth Mo.